and thank you for joining us today. I'm Raven Dixon, and this is WPNN. William Penn takes pride in the quality of education students receive. Reporter Jim Ott provides insight into a new teaching style that is improving students' attitudes in the classroom.
The experiment known as TBL, or Team-Based Learning, has been going on for 1 semester now. And although there is no hard data about if TBL has improved grades, Director of Vocal and Keyboard Music and Humanities Division Chair Anita Minert says students tended to show more enthusiasm about the material being taught in class.
Well, I think there gets a vibrancy and enthusiasm about the minute you say, okay, we're going to work in the teams, and there's just some energy and electricity that happens. So I don't know if it's because they're working with their classmates or the material is more exciting, or I don't know what the exact words are for it, but I know there is excitement.
TBL did force some professors to change the way their classrooms worked. Assistant Professor of Education Stephen Henderson says that a lot more planning is needed in order to fully implement TBL into his classes.
It'll take a lot more conscious planning of this is what I need to do with TBL, and then actually follow what they suggest to fully implement TBL.
But don't think that means the ideas of TBL are going away anytime soon, as Professor Minert sees team-based skills as a necessity for the careers students are going into.
In the workplace, you always work in teams. No one works by themselves. It's always a team effort to get a company, a job, to get the job done. So I think team is the way to go. It's the way of the future. It's the way of the past. That's how we've gotten where we are.
This view is also shared by Professor Henderson, who believes that classes should focus more on skills that students can take into their future, instead of just memorizing the content areas.
That's how we can, I think, better prepare our students to enter into a workforce, an ever-changing workforce.
So whether your experience with TBL has been positive or negative, everybody can expect a revised version to be solely implemented over the coming years. For WPNN, I'm Jimmy Ott.
Thank you, Jimmy. While William Penn is making positive changes in the classroom, the university is also considering positive change within the dorm policies. The changes will entail the possibility of having overnight visitors of the opposite gender. Co-director Diane Burns explains that the code is still under review, so don't plan that sleepover quite yet.
It is absolutely an idea that we're discussing, but absolutely has not been approved by the administration. But we are in the process of researching and getting feedback and discussing it.
With the semester coming to a close, students should have or should plan to be in contact with their advisors to register for spring classes. But what other ways can you utilize your advisor? William Penn Professor Ann Fields has led training sessions on appreciative advising and has been helping other faculty learn how to be more effective at helping their students.
It's more than just helping the student with the schedule. It's helping the student with the obstacles of college. And so sometimes advisors can help students with, I need help with my math. Where do I go? Well, you go to the Student Success Center. I got a note that I have a bill to pay. Where do I go? What can I do? I need a partnership loan taken out. Where do I go? So advisors can answer all of those questions. They can also help guide you as far as a career path goes. That's what William Penn is all about, is helping those students navigate through the obstacles that are in front of them during college. So I hope that students will take more advantage of their advisors.
The William Penn's men's basketball team has been on fire since the start of their season this year. So far, the Statesmen are 11-0 and just began conference play on November 29th against Mount Mercy. Unfortunately, the Statesmen had their winning streak come to an end after they played against Peru State on December 2nd. The Statesmen are now sitting at an 11-1 record and have to reevaluate their strategy as they continue in conference play.
It's a different animal when you get in conference. Like I just told them in the locker room, I said, we called a couple certain plays out. They knew them because of all the years, you know, and it's easy for them to get hyped to play us because we're ranked so high. We're the two-time defending champions. You know, our kids, I don't think our main core guys truly believe that Mount Mercy could give us a game, and this is the perfect thing. I enjoy learning while winning. I don't want to drop games and say, oh, we needed that. I think this was what we needed.
After suffering a 100-91 loss, the Statesmen look to bounce back tomorrow against Evangel with a start time of 4 p.m. From drug addict to spiritual leader, William Penn professor James Tower reflects on his spiritual transformation. WPNN reporter Derek Robinson has the details.
Overcoming a drug addiction is not the typical story of a pastor. Many hear the word pastor and think of someone who grew up in the church and went through life labeled as a good person. But not all pastors have this story. College Avenue Friends pastor James Tower remembers the first time he prayed and meant it.
I remember laying there and thinking, praying, which seemed natural at the time, Jesus saved me.
Pastor Tower distinctly remembers the last time he used heroin.
As my friends were talking about, they're like, you don't look so good, And I started nodding off and stuff, and I could feel parts of my brain kind of shutting down, and to just tell something wasn't right. I don't know how close to death I was, but I was worried about it.
Tom Palmer was the interim pastor of College Avenue Friends before Pastor Tower was hired. He has been impressed with the ways that Pastor Tower has been able to do ministry.
That James has that unique opportunity to relate to a segment of the community that I can't relate to because I haven't walked their walk.
Pastor Tower believes that his past allows him to understand and help people in ways that other pastors are unable to.
Most people, connect with me. I feel like I could connect with almost anyone, from people at an AA meeting to people at a academic institution. There's some interests that are there that are common, and if we can just find something that we share, talk about that.
Pastor Tower teaches a class at William Penn University on top of being the pastor of his church. The church meets on Sunday at 9:30 in the morning and is located south of the William Penn campus. I'm Derek Robinson, and this is WPNN.
Not only did Tower completely change the course of his life, but he also picked up an unexpected hobby along the way.
In my pastoral ministry class, I always told everyone that they should have something, a hobby that's just for them, that's something that is process oriented, something that, you just can't finish, gardening for some people, or woodworking or things like that.
This has been another successful edition of the WPNN. From all of us here, we hope you have a wonderful and safe winter break. Thank you for tuning in.